Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I always want to check with all of you, make sure you're taking good care of yourself. Not only you're taking good care of yourself, but your family. Are you being the kind of mom and dad that you should be for those little ones? Or are you being the kind of wife or that kind of husband that you should be with your husband or wife? Or, like a boyfriend or girlfriend. Are you being the right kind of boyfriend and the right kind of girlfriend? Are you respecting them and, loving them and taking good care of them and protecting them, especially men? Hopefully it's the men protecting the women. I mean, I actually, that's kind of funny I say that. I was in a relationship before where I was the one protecting the man. If something went bang in the middle of the night, it wasn't him getting up, it was me checking things out. So hopefully you men are out there protecting your women, not that they're yours as a property, but, your wife and your girlfriend. Hopefully that you're being the protector like they need, hopefully she's not the one crawling out in the middle of the night to check on what that noise was downstairs or wherever it is in your house, True story. It's kind of funny. But anyway, besides making sure you take care of your husband, wife, boyfriend, or girlfriend, also those little ones running around the house, whether they're little or teenagers, you want to really keep a good eye on them. Make sure, like think of how you were when you were a kid. Weren't you sneaky? Weren't you up to no good at times? I mean, if you said you were never up to no good, I'd have to question that one, I know when I was little, I was always up to no good. I had brothers, I always was up to no good. They were older than me. And so anyway, and not only I want to check up on you to see how you are doing and make sure you're taking good care of yourself, I also want to make sure you are getting out in nature somewhere. Today is a little rainy out in my area, but I did get out. I got my raincoat on. And, I did make a video. I had to check my phone out. I had to get it set, reset it, so I can make videos again. So anyway, before I get started, you can like this video and you can share. I will let you. And this subscribing to my YouTube channel won't cost you anything. So it's a guaranteed free thing. I'm not going to charge. Nobody should be charging you money to subscribe, and if they are, that's not good. So anyway, you can always get in touch with me on Instagram. That is the best place to really get in touch with me. Later on, I'm going to have other areas where you can reach out to me. I don't really know a whole lot about TikTok. I've never been there, or Twitter. If I even got the name right. So I don't know nothing about those. But also you can get a hold of me on Instagram, 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So anyway, I was thinking now it's afternoon time. I don't have my watch on now, but time flies. I had a hard time sleeping last night. I actually woke up in the middle of the night. I thought it was later than it was, and I'm like, I need to meditate. And I don't know if you've ever, go through that in the middle of the night. I do that quite frequently, every night pretty much, is that I'm like, so I do ask for help. Last night I actually woke up to meditate, to clear my mind, and it was all good stuff I was thinking about, so it was kind of hard. I'm like, but I like all these pretty thoughts, I was thinking I had a great day yesterday, and I met a couple young men, because I had to go different stores and different places, and there was a couple, one was a man of color, and the other one was a white guy, and they both were probably, like my kids' age, but they were so sweet. And then I have my own special friend, so here I am in the middle of the night saying, wow, yesterday was so beautiful. And I did get to reach out to my special friend yesterday, so it just was a really awesome day. And you don't want to take people for granted. I would love to get in touch with different people, like especially in person. So that's what, the universe is letting me know. But anyway, enough about me right now. That was not what I was going to talk about. The thing I was going to talk about, I don't know if any of you, some of you might watch movies. I've watched a lot of movies in my time. And I think it's probably been about 2 years I have not watched one movie. I wasn't watching the good stuff. I was watching a lot of negative, bad energy movies at the time, like serial killing movies. I don't know what was up with me. I had to watch girls getting raped and, murders and, investigate. I love investigating movies or shows or anything like that, detectives and stuff like that. I never really was into horror stuff, that was a little too much for me. The Matrix is my all-time movie, but long time ago, I did watch a movie called Greedy, and the actor, I love him so much. I grew up watching him, Michael J. Fox. So if you haven't watched that movie, it's a good movie. And I had to look it up because I couldn't remember the right title. I thought it was called Greed, but it's called Greedy, and that is what this video is about. Are you greedy? That when I watched, it is really strange. When I did watch that movie a long time ago, I don't even know how old. I should have looked that up. What year that was created. But he's when I was younger, one of my favorite actors. Yep, so Michael J. Fox. So anyway, in that movie, it was really interesting. And I related, to that movie, so that's what I wanted to talk about. I don't want to mention any names here, so I'm going to be really good this time. So yeah, I do know people in my time here where I live, not exactly where I am here, but it is pretty sad when you might know somebody, you might be related to them, or a distant relative or something, and where they want to. That's what this Michael J. Fox movie, Greedy, was about, is that there was a man and he had a will and he wanted to sign the will to somebody, and so, there might be somebody in your life that might be somebody personal, or, somebody in your family maybe, or a relative, a distant relative, or maybe even a friend, might have a will, and they don't know, like, who they're going to sign the will over to. Maybe they got a lot of money, saved up somehow or another, or land or whatever. And, they've got to decide, maybe they got a lot of kids or a few kids or how many kids. And so they got to figure out, okay, before I die, I want to get this will filled out. So then whoever I want all my belongings to go, or if I want to split up all my stuff to my kids or whoever, it doesn't matter who it is. The will can go to whoever you want, which is a great thing. It doesn't have to be your kids. What if your kids were bad to you? Would you really want to give them all your belongings after you passed away? So it is good that, like when you have a will, that you can sign it to whoever, and you want to get that paperwork filled out before, like anything does happen to you. That way that person will receive it. So the Michael J. Fox movie was something. He got me laughing in some of the parts, and I couldn't believe how real that movie was to my life. And so do you know anybody that has a will and they don't know maybe they haven't done their will yet, but maybe they got lots of money and they have kids and they don't know, which one or all of them or whatever, where with me, that's going to take a while, like with my babies, so it's not like my kids are waiting for me to die, to get anything from their mommy. They love their mommy so much. But that is not so with all families out there. Maybe you know somebody like this that maybe the will is for them, and they know, and maybe everybody else know that, hey, when that person passes away, everything that person owns, whether it's the father or brother or whoever, it's going to go to a certain person. So maybe you know somebody like this. Where it is pretty sad, just like the Michael J. Fox movie of Greedy. When you actually know people like this in your real life, you're like, oh my, isn't that greedy, And that's one of the seven, I believe it's 7 deadly sins in the Bible, and greed is one of them, where that's something that you really don't want to practice, really. I've always been a giver, not a greedy person ever. I'm always willing to, here, I'll take my shirt off my back and I'll give it to you. That's, I know, I'm not really going to do that. So anyway, are you the type of person that knows that, maybe you're going to receive money and you're like, oh, man, will you die yet? Where you can't wait, like for the person to pass away. That way, maybe they're going to give you their house. Maybe you don't have a lot of money, but you're like, man, it just seems like it's taken forever, So a while back, it's kind of weird, when COVID, I did know some people, I do know these people, and it was pretty sad because there was somebody that I know that, they got sick with COVID, and, like the people were not doing well, and, it's pretty sad when the one that was going to have the will, that everything was going to get handed to that person, they're like, oh, hey, wait, actually, this is not such a bad thing. They were already thinking, oh my, he's not doing well. And it's pretty sad when people that actually exist out there, and where really they're not financially hurting at all, where they can go on vacation trips and spend a lot of money, and they might already own houses and rent them out, but they're on the greedy side. That's just not enough. Where other people might always strive to make it through life, and they're happy and content with everything they have, so it is something how you get some people where they have plenty, but they want more. It's just not enough. It makes me wonder, are you really thankful and grateful for what you have? I believe I made a video, but I don't think I sent it out yet. So I have so many videos already made. I don't get enough hours in a day to put videos out. So I did make a video recently about being grateful and thankful. And matter of fact, speaking of that topic, you might not know me at all. Of course, most of you don't. This is YouTube, where most of my life I've always had a hard time with money. Homeless many times in my life, like in my past, and where I really never spent money on myself. It was easier for me to hand my money to help somebody else, even though it was hard for me to make it through, like the month or whatever. And I don't know why I'm like this, is that it's easier for me to give to other people. I don't know how many times I moved out of places and, where I needed money, I was going to be homeless after, but, where I didn't sell my things, I just gave all my stuff away. Here you go. I love you so much. I'm just going to give you all my stuff. And, I don't look for anything in return either. I don't like, hey, I got a list of all these things here of all the things I did for you. Now, later on, fork it over, where, give me some back, I'm not like that. There are some people I do know in real life that are like that. They almost like you think that they would have a list of the things they did for you or give you, and then later on they're just waiting for you to pay them back. And it's like, the whole part of giving, you don't got it right. The whole part of giving is that you give without expecting anything back. That is the key. That's what I learned when I went to church, and I believe that. So anyway, I recently, you might not think, you might spend this in one day and it might not even make you flinch. But one day, a few days ago, I went out and spent like $104 on mainly just shirt, shirts. I've been wearing the same shirts for years, or having the same shirts in my closets, where most of those clothes were given to me from one of my clients. When I was cleaning for her, she always handed me clothes down, and I was very grateful for all those clothes. And I didn't keep all of them. I just sorted through with the ones I liked, and gave those other ones away for other women that enjoy. So I did. I spent like 104, and you might think, gee, I spend 104 on a pair of pants. You wouldn't believe how many shirts I got out of $104, and it was weird because I'm not used to spending money on myself, where the next day I got very emotional because I am not used to spending money on me. But the universe gave me permission and said it's okay. But I was having a guilt trip, a real serious guilt trip. I felt like it was wrong for me to take money that I worked for, to actually treat myself. So, and then there's other people that they could go out in the store, in the high brand stores, go get the high name brands on their pants and shirts and jackets and shoes, and they're still not happy and content with what they have. So I've never been like that. I know I complained a lot when I was a kid, but that was a different story. A lot of those clothes my mom never went in a store to actually buy brand new clothes. Maybe my underwear and socks. Hopefully those weren't handed down, So, most of the clothes were from an auction or a yard sale. So it was hard going in school, thinking that I was missing out on stuff like that. But when I got older, here I get hand-me-downs still. But I'm content, I'm very grateful for everything. And that's a part of greed, is that, I believe that people that are greedy like that, where, maybe they can't wait for a loved one to pass away, because, they already have a lot, they got more than I have, and it's like, they're not content with what they already have. So you really do. You want to, what you do have, if you worked hard for your money, which a lot of people do, some people don't even have to work. They get, disability or whatever, or, government money. And, I've known a lot of people that are on disability one way or another. Some of them actually can go out and make money. They can actually go to work. But they are so used to the government, giving them money that, they're afraid if they do go to work that they're going to lose out on some of their money. They're up to work so many hours, and still receive the money, but then they'll complain because at the end of the month, they're never have enough. And that's a fact where, they barely have enough to live on, but they refuse to go out to get a job. A lot of people are like that, even though they are capable at doing something or another, because I've seen many people out in stores. I mean, I think it's something when I see an elderly lady or an elderly man, and I don't even know how old they are. I just seen a lady at a Walmart the other day, and I'm like, she is working here? Good for her. She is still going. She's using up all that energy that she has left to go out and still make money. Bing! Thumbs up. I really, it's amazing when I see that. I'm like, am I going to do that when I get older? Wow, it just surprises me. I've known other people that might be in wheelchairs. That didn't stop them. They probably do get disability money for being in that wheelchair. But you know what? They made it to work. They got out of their bed, somehow or another, even though they got a wheelchair. They were able to get out of their house, get in their car, get back in the wheelchair, get through the store doors, go to work, and make money. Where other people, they can walk around, they got their legs, but they refuse to go out and make money and work. So you do have all different types of people out there. And there's some people, they work nonstop, and where they don't ever have enough time for their family or anything like that, where the workaholics. So, I actually have a very special friend, and, I actually was worried. I'm like, will you actually have time for a relationship? I did think about that, because I have known people in my past where they wanted to get with me, but I'm like, you don't have time for me. You just told me you were trying to impress me with all the hours that you put in, but there's no hours for me. There's no time for me. I wasn't interested in anyway, but that was my point. But anyway, you really got to be grateful for every single thing you have. Whether, some people think, well, I worked for it, I don't need to thank anybody for it. I went out and I punched the clock. I did the work myself. But how about your health? Do you really need to be in great shape like you are? Not everybody is. So really, there's, don't take your life for granted, really. Like anything could happen any day. Not that I want anything to happen to anybody anyway, is that you could get in a car accident and be totally ruined for the rest of your life. Then where is the money going to come in? So you want to take good care of your health and eat good. Don't go speeding down the road on the throughway, not caring about anybody else's safety, which, that's why I really don't like wintertime here, is because, I don't want to go on the road, especially the throughway, because mostly it would be guys, mainly guys that are in four-wheel drive pickup trucks. And not all of them, but, I've actually had a lot of them that will run you right off the road, and they don't care about anybody else's safety. And here I'm under the speed limit because there's snow on the roads, and here they're flying through going way fast, or even in the rainy weather, where they're speeding, when they could, they could end up flying off the road because of so much water on the road. So you really do. You want to take care of your health in so many ways, like if you're smoking cigarettes or not eating the right kind of food, you need to exercise. I thought I was in pretty good shape until I started doing yoga. I'm like, ooh, that is something else. I was dancing all the time thinking dance is fine, walking's fine, but really, I realized I need to do some more yoga. If you want a good workout, I'm telling you, try some yoga. That is something else. My body is, I'm like, I see these girls doing some yoga stretches. I'm like, but my legs don't reach that far. How do they do that? I'm looking at their bodies. My butt doesn't do that. I know that is interesting kind of pose you have there, but things don't look that way. And when I'm looking at myself, I don't know. I'm amazed how these women, good for those girls, though. You really got to keep yourself in shape. But anyway, when it comes to greed, are you even thankful? Thankful for your health. You see, right? Can you see? I hope you could see. I got a couple family members that are blind, so I do know what it's like being around blind people. My dad and my sister are blind. My sister was born that way, but they can't see. Be grateful that you have eyes. Some people, they don't even have their legs, or one of their legs or an arm. There's a guy that works at Walmart. He has a half arm, but did that stop him from going to work? No. And every time I give him nice eye-to-eye contact, I'm like, man, I appreciate you, because, he doesn't, like he could have had an excuse and say, hey, I'm just going to collect government money. I'm disabled. But no, it didn't stop him. He actually, still goes out and works. He's still, he's able to make a living even with one arm, which you might think, oh, that's not much. But you know what? To him, it's everything, like it's his independence, like to be able to do it himself. You don't want to get lazy and rely on the government. What if the government collapses? Then what are you going to do? Really, that's why I do love a lot of people that are on disability, but really it's good to, make money on the side somehow or another. I'm not going to tell you any which way, but you don't want to get greedy and, you can give people stuff, but still be greedy, So when I knew some people, like when COVID was here, it was something what I was seeing, and it's kind of weird because the one that was giving the will away, they received a phone call one day and they did not like it. They're like, huh, it almost sounds like they can't wait for me to die so they can get the will. So really, when it comes to a will, what I have learned, is that, I've been seeing this throughout my whole life, is that the people that I do know, is that the person that has the will, the land or the money that they want to give away, whatever it is, what they've done throughout their whole life, just like greedy, is they've been promising this stuff to all kinds of people out there. They're like, yeah, but there's always a catch. I'll give you this if, like you do this. So, okay, now, are you willing to do what they want? And then, it's not like they're going to pass away. And what if you did everything they told you to do, and later on they pass away, and they changed their mind, just like they did so many other times. So that's the part of greedy, is how that was, is that the man that was, it was a messed up story, and I'm like, I know people like this. I couldn't believe it, I was just like, wow, there's a movie made just like the people I know. I was like, wow, it's pretty sad when, you think that somebody loves you, like, and I'm glad my kids, I don't have to worry about my babies, is that they're not waiting for their mommy to die, like, they don't care if I had a will or not, they want to see me live forever. They want me around, where greed could actually change that around really quick. And the weird thing about this whole deal about this greedy movie here, and the real life thing that I know, is it is kind of weird how this happened, is when COVID came and this person was not doing good, they feared maybe they were going to die of COVID. They really were. They actually got hit really hard with COVID. And they were actually not married, but they had somebody living with them at the time, So the thing is that the person was, oh, wow, he could die, because of COVID. But he's like, oh no, but this person lives there. Like, that sucks. Now, how, I can't really, like, how am I going to get this person out so I can take everything he has? It was a crazy thing that I witnessed. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I couldn't believe my eyes or ears when I witnessed all these things going on. I'm like, that's too funny. Where, it is weird where I had somebody before in my life that wanted me to take a will, if they passed away, and, I'm like, what? I don't want nothing to do with it. I really don't. I could care less about the will. More or less, give it to somebody else. I'm good. And I'm glad I was like that, because I really, I'm not greedy. What they were offering, I didn't want what they were offering. Yeah, it's a beautiful land. Yeah, like whatever. But no, I'm good. I'm really good. I'd rather be homeless. So, yeah, there's catches to things, Sometimes people, it is really sad that there really are human beings out there that, might not, they can't wait for somebody to pass away to get what they, like they think they're going to get. And it's not really all, even though they might have the will in their name, everything could change overnight. It takes one thing, to happen where I changed my mind. I'm going to sign the will out to this person instead. Yeah, I want to do it to, and that's the thing about that movie, Greedy. That's about pretty much what that was about, where it was funny, but it was sick at the same time. It was like, after you get done watching a movie like that, you're like, wow, that is messed up. That is some messed up stuff. But then when you realize that people like that, then it really, like it makes the movie even more alive. You're like, yeah, I can understand why they made that movie, because there's real people out there like that. They will hold the will over your head the whole entire time. You're like, they might be who knows how old, and then it's like, well, now you got to wait until they die in order to get it. and then they, like, so that is amazing, really, how things can turn around, and nothing's set in stone, they say, on stuff like that, where anything can change. They could change their mind and say, F you, I'm just going to forget it. I'm going to give it to the state. I don't want to even give it to anybody. So, yeah, you don't want to be like that at all. I really believe it has a lot to be with not being thankful for what you have. I thank the universe all the time. The other day when I bought, you know, those clothes for $104. Whoops, I went $4 in tax over 100. It was supposed to just been 100. You're thinking, what could I get for $100 for clothes? Not much, right? But man, I'm a girl that actually will get her penny's worth, and treat her clothes really good. I take good care of my stuff, but I did. I got very emotional. I might have cried and thanked God and the universe for like a half hour, and thanked the universe for so many things in my apartment, like the vehicle. I am so blessed. So really you really ought to thank the universe for everything that you have, the food that you, and when I go in my refrigerator, I'm like, or my cupboards, it wasn't always like that, to open up and there's food in there. So, like in my health, when I had COVID, I didn't, that was something, I am very grateful, like, it's always good to feel like yourself. So really be thankful. But you know what? You got to take care of yourself too. You don't think that, well, I'm not going to take care of myself, and, well, thank you, for helping me to be the way I am, because you know what, it takes work. Like, if you want to last long when you get older, get out and get some exercise. You need to move around, get those joints moving, like, lubricate them up, like, by moving them around. You don't want to turn into the Tin Man, But anyway, I love you, and I hope none of you are greedy. I hope you're really thankful, and you can always do that today if you haven't done that in a while. I do know somebody that they're like, oh, they really never were thankful about stuff, and then later on they, the universe was teaching them some lessons to be, thankful instead of complaining, about what you have, and like saying all this horrible stuff about what you don't have. Be grateful for what you do have, so you want to be grateful. You don't want greed in your life, so I love all of you. So anyway, I hope you enjoy your day, and make sure you get out in nature. Again, you can like this video, and of course that means thumbs up, and you could share, and subscribe is free. And on Facebook you can get in touch with me there at Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight, or on Instagram at 1995 Starlight. And I do want to reach out to all of you, those that do watch any of my videos. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you taking the time out to watch any of my videos, or like, or even subscribe, or leaving a comment. I thank you so much, and you just enjoy the rest of your day. This is Starlight, love and light, peace.